Merry Christmas, weirdos! It's Thursday. I'm Christopher, and as always, I'm joined by...
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And this podcast is for weirdos.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the Yule Lads.
What?
Huh?
What are we talking about?
The
what?
Yule
What'd you
Lads?
say? What'd you say?
I said Yule Lads?
What?
What is that? What's a Yule Lad? Why did I say that?
Why did you say that? I can't believe you would say that.
Well.
Why did I say that?
Whale.
So
Whales.
So instead of
Whale.
instead of doing an experiment this year, because that's what we did last year, we decided to look up some Christmas folklore from other places, because we thought that would be fun and exciting. So Chris actually found it's an Icelandic folklore thing. It's called the Yule Lads.
The Yule Lads.
Yule Lads.
They are also
Do you want to say why you know about the Yule Lads?
Of course I do. I was thinking about this the other day. So I know about the Yule Lads because of a YouTube channel called
Drawfee.
that we have talked about on the program before.
Yep. Dinosaur lies.
And I love Drawfee. They're very, very silly artists that used to be associated with College Humor. But now they're their own deal.
They're an independent company.
They're independent artists now.
Yeah.
And I really love them and their content. And a couple years ago, they did a drawing challenge that was drawing Yule Lads without...
It was drawing Yule Lads based only on their name.
Yeah, based just on their name. And it was very silly.
Which you will learn why that is a funny idea as we go through them.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, we are very much the equivalent of Drawfee, just like without the drawing. We're just three stupid fucks sitting around.
Yep.
Chatting.
Yep.
With nonsense.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Tell us about what you know, what the research you've done, Mackenzie.
So the Yule Lads, their Icelandic name is Jólasveinar. Or they're also known as the Yule Lads or Santa Clauses. All of those names are interchangeable in this lore. So these beings start appearing the night before December 12th.
Yeah.
So in Iceland, the people that believe in these Yule Lads, and I think just general Icelandic tradition, they put shoes out on their windowsill, and they leave those shoes out for the next 13 days. So the shoes stay out. Each night, a different Yule Lad comes to visit, and they put a small gift inside the shoe. In addition to the main 13, and we're going to go through a poem that kind of tells the lore of the Yule Lads.
Who they are.
In addition, there's also their mother, Grilla, and their father, Lepaluti. And then there's a Christmas cat that they have as well, which I will touch very briefly on because I think we're going to talk about that specific being later on.
Next Christmas.
Some of the lore, so especially once you start hearing the names, these Yule Lads were originally like real rough. They are not cutesy Santas. Like they're real kind of rough, not mean or anything like that, but not super sweet.
They're kind of assholes.
Yeah,
They're
they're
kind of
kinda
assholes.
assholes.
They were often they're associated with like stealing something or breaking and entering, so they're not the nicest characters. And some people believe that, which this is kind of sad. Some people believe that the original legend of the Yule Lads perhaps started around like homeless, poor or hungry people trying to survive winters
cold.
in the
Yeah.
cold. So they, especially when you start hearing about like what each of them do,
Yeah.
that kind of lore
Yeah.
tracks a little bit. Obviously with a poem, they've been around a long time, so I don't know how much of that is just people trying to make sense of old legend.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first mention of the Yule Lads can be found in the 17th century poem of Grilla. Grilla had appeared in older tales as a troll, and I'll talk more about her specifically in just a minute, but she had not been linked to Christmas before. She is described as a hideous being, and she is the mother of the gigantic Yule Lads, and she's a menace to children, lightly.
I love her.
Early on, the number of and the depiction of the Yule Lads varied a lot depending on where you were. Initially, they were used, like all good things, to frighten children into being good.
All good folklore.
All good folklore.
They
It's to
were-
scare children into being good.
They were a lot scarier in
Yeah.
the past. Like I found a website that has like the ancient Yule Lads versus the modern Yule Lads.
And they're scary.
First of
as
all the
shit.
links to the old Yule Lads are broken, and you can't actually go to the actual website because they've like erased it from the website.
Yeah.
But they're like the Shadow Stealer
Yeah.
and like that kind of shit.
Terrifying.
They're scary. Sorry.
So, similar to like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
The king of Denmark actually objected to their use as a disciplinary tool. So in 1746, the use of the Yule Lad myths to overly instill fear in children was officially banned, leading to the myths being made more benign. The king was like, "This is too much. You're being too much.
Literally,
You've gotta
there's
calm
a
down."
doctrine.
Yeah.
In the late 18th century, a poem mentions the number 13. And in the mid-19th century, Jon Aronson drew inspiration from the Brothers Grimm and began to collect folk tales. His 1862 collection is the first mention of the names of the Yule Lads. In 1932, the poem Yule Lads was published as part of a popular poetry book, Christmas is Coming, Jólin Koma, by Icelandic poem Johannes Rúkotlum. Oh boy.
That's
Good
the
job.
one we're gonna read.
Yep.
I think I said that right.
You did.
Cool.
That was very good.
Yeah.
The poem was popular and established what is now considered to be the canonical 13 Yule Lads, their names and their personalities.
Yeah.
So they are generally speaking a group of 13 mischievous pranksters who steal or otherwise harass the population and also bring tiny gifts.
They give you a present for your trouble.
Yeah, they're like, I'm a menace. Here's a gift. Each of
Are
them.
they me?
Are they you?
A little bit.
I was like, I am a menace. And
I brought gifts,
you brought gifts this time.
and I am a menace.
Yeah.
They are we.
Each of their names basically describes their favorite way to cause
Ruckus.
chaos and
Yeah.
be mischievous. They arrive one by one over the 13 days leading up to Christmas or Yule. They leave small gifts in the shoes that children specifically place on window sills. Although if you're disobedient, you will find a rotten potato in your shoe instead of a
I love
little
that so
treat.
much more than coal.
That's so funny.
Much like their mother, the Yule mother being Grilla.
Yeah.
The Yule Lads were originally portrayed by Jon Aronson, not as gift givers, but as kidnappers of the children that misbehaved during the Christmas season, along with their usual prankster activities. Yeah. In modern times, the Yule Lads have been depicted as more benevolent, comparable to Santa Claus and other related figures. They are generally portrayed wearing late medieval Icelandic clothing, but are sometimes shown in the costume traditionally worn by Santa Claus, especially at children's events.
Cute.
So Grilla, the mother of the Yule Lads, is an ogress or a troll. She varies in like what she's actually described as.
I love her.
She was first mentioned in 13th century texts such as Icelandic Saga and Sverris Saga, but not explicitly connected to Christmas until the 17th century, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
She is huge monstrous. She's supposed to be a very large, very tall, like
She's an
big
ogre. She's
lady.
big.
And her appearance is repulsive. She is ugly as sin.
I love her.
Grilla is also mentioned in the Skarparmal section of the 13th century prose Edda by Snorri Sturluson.
I have that.
I also have that.
I have 3 copies of that.
She's only mentioned by name in a list of the troll wives. No further description of her is provided in that text.
Me.
The oldest poem about Grilla describes her as a parasitic beggar. She walks around asking for parents to give her their disobedient children. Her plans can be thwarted by giving her food or chasing her away. Originally, she lived in like a small cottage, but in later poems, she appears to have been forced out of towns and into a remote cave. Go ahead.
I wonder if this is in that book that you gave me, The Saga of the Icelanders,
It might be.
which is right behind me.
It might be.
I turned around. Did you say it was in the prose Edda or the poetic Edda?
Prose.
I only have 1 copy of that. I have 2 copies of the poetic Edda.
Current day Grilla is known to be able to detect the behavior of children all year.
So she's like Santa.
She
sees you when you're sleeping. She knows when you're awake.
But she's out for
she's mean.
bad children.
Yeah, she's not looking for you to be good. She's looking for you to be bad.
She comes down from the mountain, down from her cave,
Like the Grinch.
during Christmas time to search for nearby towns for disobedient children for her to eat. She leaves her caves, hunts the children, and carries them home in her giant sack. It's a reverse Santa. It's very Grinchy, not good.
This is a different reverse Santa than the
different
last time we had reverse Santa.
Different
Yeah.
reverse Santa, worse reverse Santa.
Yeah. Very Krampus.
She devours children as her favorite snack. Her favorite
God,
dish
same.
is a stew of naughty children for which she has an insatiable appetite. According to legend, there is never a shortage of food for Grilla. And
Because there's always bad kids.
and then she's also, according to her folklore, been married 3 times. So her third husband, Lepaluthi, is said to be living in their cave with her in the Dimiborgir lava fields with the
Ooh.
big black Yule cat and their 13 sons.
These horrible boys.
These horrible, horrible boys. Lepaluthi is lazy and mostly stays at home in their caves. Grilla supposedly has dozens of children with her previous husband, but they are rarely mentioned in folklore now.
Fun.
And he is also, so he's known for being less than helpful, but he always eats Grilla's food.
He is a dad in a 90s sitcom.
And
Yeah,
he apparently
bump on a log.
also has a large nose, is also trolly.
He's definitely the dad of
yours,
my
yeah.
guy, of my Yule lad.
And then
Excellent.
the Christmas cat that they have that they talk about
Jola.
is the
Jola.
Jola Koturin, is a vicious black hairy animal that hunts children who specifically do not receive something new to wear at Christmas time. So if they don't get
Why is it
new
their fault?
clothes, and there's actually a very pretty light installation depicting this Christmas cat that is put up in Reykjavik every Christmas
Aw.
time. So I
We
did
have
find
art-
a picture of it. I'll put it up.
Good.
We'll amass the.
I don't know if you can see it, but there is one on the board, like right up above Dogman.
Yeah.
Like top left corner of the Dogman comic, there's a Jola.
Yep.
It's a card. I have 3 Christmas cards up there. One of them is Krampus, one of them is Jola, and the other one is Mary Lloyd.
So that is kind of what I have as a general history of our
Amazing.
Yule Lads and their parents. I think Sarah's going to open up. We're going to read the poem
We're gonna
that
read the poem.
was published that depicts the canonical
Their story.
their story. We've each picked a specific Yule Lad to
so you're
talk
getting
about,
3 out of 13.
but we'll mention the names and like time frames of the other ones.
Yeah, they'll all get brought up because they're all in the poem. So everyone, are you ready? Are you cozy?
Are you cozy?
Are
Get
you
your
cozy for
blankie.
poem time?
little bedtime story?
Let's stretch my bard skills. Reading you a poem. I will say before I read this was translated from Icelandic into English.
Right.
So parts of it don't rhyme. Most of it's pretty good, and they did a pretty good job of keeping the poetic syntax as well as the direct interpretation. Some of it doesn't rhyme. Some of it isn't poetically perfect in translation. But it's still very fun. let me tell the story of the lads of few charms who once upon a time used to visit our farms. 13 altogether, these gents in their prime didn't want to irk people all at one time. They came from the mountains, as many of you know, in a long single file to the farmsteads below. Creeping up, all stealth, they unlocked the door, the kitchen and the pantry they came looking for. Grilla was their mother. She gave them ogre milk, and the father,
Luthi.
Lepaluti, a loathsome ilk. They hid where they could, with a cunning look or sneer, ready with their pranks when people weren't near. They were called the Yuletide lads. At Yuletide they were due, and always came one by one, not ever 2 by 2. And even when they were seen, they weren't loath to roam and play their tricks, disturbing the peace of the home. And that's the preamble. Who's our first boy, Chris?
We have Stekkerstaur, Sheepcoat Clod. The first of them was Sheepcoat Clod. He came, stiff as wood, to prey upon the farmer's sheep as far as he could. He wished to suck the ewes, but it was no accident. He couldn't. He had stiff knees. Not too convenient.
His knees don't bend.
His knees don't bend. Giljagour, Gullygawk. The second was Gullygawk, gray his head and mine. He snuck into the cow barn from his craggy ravine. Hiding in the stalls, he would steal the milk, while the milkmaid gave the cowherd a meaningful smile. Stubby was the third, called a stunted little man, who watched for every chance to whisk off a pan, and scurrying away with it, he scraped off the bits that stuck to the bottom and brims his favorites.
Gross.
The fourth was Spoonlicker. Like Spindle, he was thin. He felt himself in clover when the cook wasn't in. Then stepping up, he grappled the stirring spoon with glee, holding it with both hands, for it was slippery. Potscraper, the fifth one, was a funny sort of chap. When kids were given scrapings, he'd come to the door and tap. And they would rush to see if there really was a guest. Then he hurried to the pot and had a scraping fest.
That one's really funny to me. He's like, and they're like, oh my God, a friend. And he's like, my scrapings.
Yeah. Bulllicker, the sixth one, was shockingly ill-bred. From underneath the bedsteads, he stuck his ugly head. And when the bulls were left to be licked by dog or cat, he snatched them for himself. He sure was good at that. The seventh was Door Slammer, a sorry, vulgar chap. When people in the twilight would take a little nap, he was happy as a lark with the havoc he could wreak, slamming doors and hearing the hinges on them squeak. Scare Gobbler, the eighth, was an awful stupid bloke.
Idiot.
He lambasted the scare tub till the lid on it broke. Then he stood there gobbling. His greed was well known. Until about to burst, he would bleat, howl, and groan. The ninth was Sausage Swiper, a shifty pilferer. He climbed up to the rafters and raided food from there. Sitting on a crossbeam in soot and in smoke, he fed himself on sausage, fit for gentlefolk. The 10th was Window Peeper, a weird little twit, who stepped up to the window and stole a peek through it. And whatever was inside to which his eye was drawn, he most likely attempted to take later on.
A thief.
11th was Door Sniffer, a doltish lad and gross. He never got a cold, yet had a huge, sensitive nose. He caught the scent of lace bread while leagues away still, and ran towards it weightless as wind over dale and hill. Meat Hook, the 12th one, his talent would display as soon as he arrived on St. Thorlak's day. He snagged himself a morsel of meat of any sort, although his hook at times was a tiny bit short. The 13th was Candlebeggar. 'Twas cold, I believe. If he was not on the last of the lot on Christmas Eve, he trailed after the little ones, who, like happy sprites, ran about the farm with their fine tallow lights.
That's the whole poem.
Yeah, and so this translation was by Hallberg Hallmundsson.
Thanks, Hallberg Hallmundsson.
Oh, see, the one that I had has a little bit of a postscript.
Oh, would you like to read
It
it?
says on Christmas night itself, so a wise man writes, the lads were all restrained and just stared at the lights. Then one by one they trotted off into the frost and snow. On the 12th night the last of the lads used to go. Their footprints in the highlands are effaced now for long. The memories have all turned to image and song.
Great. I love that we each had like a different chunk of
Yeah.
the poem. All right, so Chris picked Sheepcoat Claude or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to talk about his guy first.
So, the National Museum of Iceland describes sheepcoat Claude as trying to suckle on the sheep in a farmer's barn.
He wants sheep milk.
He wants sheep milk. He's stealing the milk from the farmers and the people who rely on these sheep. There have been some iterations of sheepcoat Claude that that he has peg legs or he's walking on stilts.
And that's why he can't bend down.
That's why he can't bend down because apparently he's also huge. He's the tallest of all the brothers.
Gotcha.
He's not necessarily like a big guy. He's just tall.
Yeah.
He's tall and can't bend his knees.
Tall and can't bend his knees.
It's also believed that like it was probably just an ailment of this person. That it wasn't uncommon for people to have stiff legs.
Mm-hmm.
And is more likely that somebody had stiff legs than they had peg legs.
Yeah.
Again, from the National Museum of Iceland, they mentioned that he is a cross of troll, elf, and human. So, like, he's got a bunch of different things that make him up. Some of the stories, some of the depictions have him with a walking stick to help him balance. Because if his knees don't work, he's got to have something to help him balance. But because he has such long, straight legs, he takes huge steps and can travel further than anybody else in the family.
Nice.
Faster, too, because he's got long legs.
That's why he's the first one.
Yep, that's why he's first. So his specialty is sheep. He wants to drink sheep milk. Sometimes he'll steal the sheep. Most of the time, he settles for just scaring the tar out of them. And so he's the first Yule lad to arrive, and so he arrives like midnight going into the 12th. And then he departs December 25th on Christmas.
He departs on Christmas Day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so his function definitely was to remind farmers to put their sheep away at nighttime in the winter.
Yeah.
Or you might lose some sheep. They might run away. You might have dead sheep.
Yep.
Because it's cold outside.
And this guy gonna kill him and drink their milk.
Right. Definitely not wintertime activities.
No.
That is just snowy and cold and
It's Sheepcoat Claude.
sheepcoat Claude. He takes them.
He takes them.
That's what I got.
Okay, I have Gulligok or Gil Jaguar. It looks like Gil Jaguar. He appears the night of December 13th, and he is known for hiding in gullies or ravines, waiting for people to not be paying attention to their barns so he can sneak in and steal fresh milk. He's known for his quiet but cunning approach. And so he, following Sheepcoat Claude, who is loud and clumsy and, makes his presence pretty well known, Gulligok arrives on December 13th, completely different approach. He is the master of stealth.
Sneaky.
Gulligok reflects his preferred hiding spots in ravines and gullies that carve through Iceland. From these natural hiding places, he's able to observe human behavior, learning the routines of the farmers and the dairy maids with the patience of a seasoned spy. His obsession with milk runs way deeper than just him being hungry. It represents his connection to the pastoral life that defines much of Iceland. Fresh, creamy milk was a really precious commodity, especially in the harsh Icelandic climate. Mm-hmm. And Gulligok's theft of that milk was once seen as like a very serious transgression to steal somebody's milk. However, as his story changed a little bit and milk was a less scarce commodity, it became less threatening and more kind of silly, goofy that he's so obsessed with like drinking milk.
I gotta get that milk.
Modern Icelanders will tell stories of finding empty milk jugs with small muddy footprints leading away. The same way some people will do with reindeer tracks or that horrible little elf that we don't talk about.
The one on the shelf.
The one on the shelf. And then he is a favorite amongst children with his ninja-like abilities, with his stealth
He's
and cunning.
sneaky.
He's a ninja.
Unlike his more boisterous brothers, he teaches us the value of patience and observation, though not always for the most noble of purposes.
I'm stealing that.
So
I'm taking it.
He was kind of a reminder to farmers and villagers to keep their milk, their precious commodities. Keep an eye on those things. Take care of the stuff that you have. So that's, and he leaves on December 26th.
You guys both have such a good, this is what it teaches people. My guy steals fucking dessert. So he doesn't have
brother.
He doesn't have a lesson.
And then the next, I'll just quickly run through the next couple because Sarah's is way down the line.
Mine's 11th.
So from the 14th to the 27th, we have Stufur or Stubby. Mm-hmm. Then the 15th to the 28th is Spoon Liquor. I'm not gonna try to say it in Icelandic because it's nuts.
You can just say their English names.
And then
the
16th to the 29th, we have Pot Liquor. 17th to the 30th, there's Bowl Liquor. 18th to the 31st is Door Slammer. 19th to New Year's is Skier Gobbler, which is just, he cracks me up. I almost picked that one.
He eats yogurt.
He
steals your yogurt.
He just wants your yogi.
December 20th to January 2nd is the Sausage Swiper, also amusing.
I almost did that one.
The 21st to January 3rd is the Window Peeper. He gave me yucky vibes.
He just peeks. I don't like that they call him window peeker because that's not even what he steals. He looks in your windows
to see
for valuables
to see
and
what
then
he can
takes
take.
them. He's the little thief.
Yeah.
Up to you now, homegirl.
Okay. So I have got the Theffer, also known as a doorway sniffer, who is the 11th Yule Lad. He shows up on the 22nd, the night before the 22nd of December. So technically on the 21st, but it's the 22nd is his day. And then he leaves on the 4th of January. So I have a beautiful paragraph here that is a bunch of things combined into one that I'm just going to read to you, basically. Doorway Sniffer, was blessed or cursed, depending on who you asked, with a nose so sensitive it can detect the faintest food aromas from incredible distances. He experiences the world as a symphony of smell. His nose is considered a precision instrument, capable of distinguishing between different types of bread, identifying the exact spices in stew, and even determining the ripeness of fruit through closed doors and from miles away. Unlike his brothers, he doesn't break in or sneak around. He positions himself at doorways and draws in deep, appreciative breaths, mapping the aromatic landscape of each home. His face during these sniffing sessions shows pure bliss as he experiences layers of scent that are completely lost on ordinary noses. Once he identifies something irresistible, he becomes like a missile locked onto his target, following scent trails with the determination of a detective.
Nice.
His nose has led him through snowdrifts, up chimneys, and even through underground passages in pursuit of the perfect aroma. What makes him special is his appreciation for the artistry of cooking, however. He doesn't just steal food. He seeks out the most perfectly prepared dishes, those made with love and skill. His refined palate has made him something of a food critic among the Yule Lads, unlike his siblings who lick the remnants of bowls and spoons and pots and scrapings. The modern interpretation of this, modern bakers will have competitions to see who can attract doorway sniffers' attention with their culinary excellence.
That's so fun.
He specifically wants lace bread or leaf bread, or as it is said in Icelandic, loifabrød, which is this delicate fried confectionery that if you watch the Great British Baking Show, the Christmas episode in 2018 had this as the technical challenge.
Okay.
Because it's fucking insane. So it's they're thin like tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's called leaf bread. They're supposed to be as thin as a leaf.
Okay.
It is called lace bread because of the intricate design that is cut into it. So there are these special little rotary cutters that cut little V shapes into the bread, and then you fold the points back onto the previous one. They look like a snowflake.
Wow.
Like a paper snowflake, but they're circle. They're so pretty. And it is this beautiful, and it's fried. So it's like a fried sweet bread with this beautiful lacy structure, and it's a hard thing to make. So it does make sense that it's this thing that these bakers are competing to make the best one for a doorway sniffer to be excited about. And it's a sweet smell. Some people will put spices in it, like cinnamon and clove, like your Christmassy
Christmas
spices. And so he would be able to sniff it out from miles away, and then steal all your bread, and then you don't have any more desserts. Again, he doesn't have a folklore use, a reason. This version of him doesn't have one. I did look up the ancient 11th Yule Lad because I was I feel like all the other ones have some kind of what you're supposed to
folkloric.
learn from them. And the reason why I said Shadow Stealer earlier when talking about the ancient Yule Lads is because that was the 11th Yule Lad in the old version. And it was a do not be out at night in winter kind of story because it was the shadows get longer, and if your shadow touches another shadow, Shadow Stealer will steal your shadow away.
Oh.
And you will not survive that encounter, a.k.a. don't be out at night in winter. It's fucking cold. Go home, go to bed.
Yep.
Where it's warm. And so I was I'll tell you that one because that has a folklore purpose. So that was Doorway Sniffer, the 11th Yule Lad, and his evil previous counterpart, Shadow Stealer.
And then the last two, we have Meat Hook, which he's known for trying to snag with his hook your hanging smoked meats
Your
or
meats.
dried meats in your rafters or your barns or whatever. And then you have, and he's there around December 23rd until January 5th. And then the last one is Candle Stealer or Tallow Stealer. And he's there Christmas Eve until January 6th. So the way that these show up, they cover all of pre-Christmas and the full Yule season. That's our Icelandic.
That's our Yule
Christmas.
Lads.
Those are our Yule Lads, and their family.
And your family.
I meant to mention earlier. You may, if anybody watched or has watched, the movie Red One. It has Chris Evans and The Rock in it. It came out a year or two ago. It's been out for a couple of years. Anyway, in that specific movie, there's a couple of different Christmas folklore characters in that. Obviously, Santa Claus is in that, but also Krampus and Grilla. Grilla actually plays the villain in this particular movie, and she's kind of at the end in the last Harry Potter book when you can't say Voldemort's name because it summons him or summons the Death Eaters and stuff like that. Same thing happens with Grilla in this movie. You're not supposed to say her name because it brings her
Because she can hear it.
Because she can hear it,
Gotcha.
and her goal is to, in the movie, she's trying to get a hold of the naughty list so she can go through and like kill all of those children, steal
Eat
all
the
those
children.
Eat the children,
Good.
as her folklore is. She's depicted like she's disguised as a very beautiful woman in the movie, and at the end of the movie, she's shown as a very ugly creature. But it was an interesting like folklore crossover. So if you're interested in watching that movie, it does follow the correct folklore of this character.
Nice.
And it is
kind
very
of
fun.
It's a very funny, very goofy, silly movie. Chris Evans is kind of an anti-hero character. He plays a burglar in the
fun.
movie, and then The Rock is like Santa's bodyguard. It's very funny. It's very a la the Tooth Fairy movie that The Rock did, or Game Plan.
Yeah.
It's very similar character to that kind of
Gotcha.
character.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less action hero Rock and more kind of goofy, silly. There's a little bit of action in it still, but overall it's a very funny, silly Christmas story. I believe it was on Netflix.
I think it was on Netflix.
I think it's in Netflix.
So if you have Netflix, if you're interested, know that movie is
Recommended.
there. It is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. But this was Grilla, Lepthuthi, and the 13 Yule Lads. We hope you learned something.
Woo.
We hope you're having a great Christmas
Merry
day.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good day off, if nothing else.
Yeah.
If you don't celebrate, hopefully you have the day off and you can hang out.
And you're warm and cozy.
And you're warm
in
and
your
cozy.
And we
and
hope
you're
you're
eating food you like.
spending time with people you love and enjoy spending time with,
Yep.
whether that's found family or otherwise. So
Family, found family, friends. By yourself if that's what you want to be doing.
Yep.
Your dog, your cat, whatever. Next Christmas, a whole year from now, last Christmas I got given a book of Christmas folklore.
Mm-hmm.
And so for next Christmas, I'm going to make us all pick a thing out of it and do a thing from it.
That'd be fun.
Because it's a bunch of different like cultural
folklore.
Yeah.
folklore.
Yeah.
Some of it's scary, some of it's not so scary, some of it's like the Yule Lads. So we could do like Krampus and Jola and all the scary things, or we could do like Santa. Who knows?
have a great day, weirdos. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we will see you
Next
in the
week.
new year.
In the new year.
Bye-bye,
We'll see
2025.
you on New Year's Day.
We'll
On
see
New
you
Year's.
on
See
New
you
Year's Day.
literally next year.
In 2026.
Ugh.
Thanks for listening.
This podcast is for weirdos.
Are you a weirdo?
Thursdays are for the phenomena.